Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and I find myself once again wandering in the Fabled Lands. Now it's time for Amule to continue with her quests. Unfortunately that pesky ghoul eluded us. We do have the Lord of Thunder quest, and I believe now we have the climbing equipment necessary to achieve that goal. We also have the Stolen Quest, the Stolen Chest quest, which is going to prove more challenging. Namely in that it will involve us getting more money. Let us depart and head out in this direction. This is risky, because it's going to involve a difficult dice roll. 4, 5, 83% chance. Pretty good odds, okay? And that dice roll is the main reason I've been avoiding this portion of road. You're on the cobbled road between Yellowport and Marlock City. It is well kept by the Sakaran military. You spot a man up ahead striding towards you. Suddenly, 5 or 6 bandits appear from the wayside to assault him. The lone figure executes a series of movements almost faster than the eye can see, and you see his sword flashing in the sun. Moments later, the bandits are all lying dead or dying around him. You stop to compliment him on his swordsmanship. The man, a grizzled veteran of many campaigns, regards you with steely grey eyes and says, "I have learned much of the arts of war in my time, it is true." Impressed by his skill and demeanour, you venture to ask him to teach you some of these arts. He looks you up and down with a critical eye. And if we failed this, we would be denied a quest which would give us a point to our combat score, which we could really do with right now. He seems to see something he approves of, because he says, "Perhaps, but first you must prove yourself. There is a knight, a man of great evil. He is known as the Black Dragon Knight. Defeat him in battle, and I will teach you. Bring me back his black dragon shield as proof of your valor." With that he turns and walks away. "But how will I find him? And then how will I find you?" you cry. "Would you have me kill him for you as well?" he asks over his shoulder. "As for the second, ask for me in the Blue Griffin Tavern in Karanbaru. My name is Yanrit the Sun." You come to the top of a windswept cliff. An ancient pillar of jumbled rock, pitted and weather-beaten, stands at the cliff's edge like a broken finger pointing at the sky. Seagulls sing their song of desolation in the air. Judging by the runes etched into the rock, the tour dates back to the time of the Shadar, a race that ruled Harkuna so long ago they are lost in myth and legend. You take a closer look at the runes. Yeah, it means nothing to us. Needed at least a 9. The runes mean nothing to you. Well then, I'll continue along the road. When I go back to Yellowport, I'll be able to get a quest involved around here, but for now I wanted to try and rescue Sulvaneris, the god of storms, and yeah. We're back at Marlock City again. In the marketplace, we are not going to sell anything. Let's head on our way to Cursed Moor and hope that we are not cursed ourselves in crossing this barren wasteland. You're trekking across the aptly named Cursed Moor. A great rolling expanse of blasted heath stretches before you. Grey clouds hang over a mournful, dirty, water-coloured plain studded with rocky outcrops and low hills. You find 10 shards on an old skeleton. Excellent. And now for some more challenges. Hark at that rain falling. You are crossing the western wilderness, an expanse of wild, sparsely populated countryside. A few trappers and woodsmen make a living from the natural resources of the area. A tall spire of rock, a towering anomaly of geology, rises up into the clouds, dominating the horizon. A local hunter tells you it's known as Devil's Peak, and that the summit is infested with demons. Let us climb that peak. The sides of the peak. You are standing at the bottom of the Devil's Peak. It is a massive tower of black rock, like a stone tree trunk, bare and branchless, climbing up into the sky. You cannot see the top, for it is shrouded in grey clouds. Thunder and lightning play about the clouded summit. The sides of the peak are almost sheer, but there are many hand and footholds. It can be climbed, but only if you have some climbing gear. Let us make use of that gear and make the ascent. The climb is long and hard, but at last you heave yourself up onto the top of Devil's Peak, a flat expanse of weathered black rock. You come across a strange sight. A man lies staked out on the ground, asleep. Blue energy crackles up and down his body, and a hefty-looking hammer, glowing red, is still attached to his belt. This is Sulveneris, the one you have come to free. You are about to lift the stakes. As you are about to lift the stakes, a whistling, keening blast of ferocious wind engulfs you. You are surrounded by whirling storm demons, vaguely man-shaped creatures of thunderous energy which try to sweep you into the air and off the edge of the peak itself. You try to recite the rituals of dismissal associated with such demons. Oh, we need a 7. There we are. Our faith has been rewarded. The storm demons shrink back with a wailing, mournful cry, like wind in the trees. The power of your faith is enough to repel them. You work free one of the stakes, holding down Sulveneris. Sulveneris wakes up the moment you remove the stake. He rips the other stakes out of the ground and soars into the air with a shout like a clap of thunder. He swings his hammer around his head, and bolts of lightning leap forth to strike the storm demons. As he rises into the clouds in pursuit of the demons, a bolt of lightning streaks from his hand and strikes you full force. You are thrown backwards, but in your amazement you are unhurt. In fact, you feel empowered by the blast. Your maximum stamina points are increased permanently by 3. That's pretty good. You have freed Sulveneris, the Lord of Thunder. And now, we're gonna go back to claim our reward. We'll head across the Cursed Moor and, be attacked by wolves. Oh, this could be tricky. Well then, let's just hide up here and let them approach ever so slightly. Right, you get cursed. You are the only one in range, then perish. And now this one is a problem. Got it. I wasn't sure. You see, he should have come the other way and then attacked instead of moving onto the rocky ground. I presume he still had the action points to attack after a single move. I'm not entirely sure. I think I've seen him move and attack before. Not being eaten by wolves is no small reward on its own, but you decide to get some wolf pelts as compensation for the stress. Let's go back to Marlock City, where we are going straight to the Temple District and the House of Priests, where we will once again pay 10 shards as a contribution in order to enter. The Chief Administrator is overjoyed to see you. The priests already know you have been successful in freeing Sulveneris, the Lord of Thunder, because their crystal ball shows them that the storm demons have been driven away. As a reward, you receive the tuition of several high priests who have gained a rank, 2 stamina points, and a skill. Choose one of the following items. Pay attention to the requirements, if any, of the spells or skills. You must meet them in order to learn and use them. We have archery, which will make us better with all manner of ranged weapons. Weapon mastery, which will make us better with all manner of close combat weapons. +2 to hit with swords, +40% critical hit chance with maces and axes, and +1 damage with polearms. And we have combat dodge, which is really important, as we don't seem to be getting any contributions to defense at all at the moment. Your gain in rank has taught you much. You feel tougher, luckier, and generally better able to deal with trouble. Visit me anytime, says the Chief Administrator when you leave. We have a skill to learn, so let's do that. So now, we have a passive skill which gives us +1 defense in combat. This defense point will not be shown on the character sheet, even though defense is only used in combat. 3, 4, 5, 6, yes, that's correct. So it is 7 in combat. Good. Now, under the new ranking scheme, on even numbered ranks, we gain 2 points of stamina and a new skill. On odd numbered ranks, we gain a point of defense and an ability point to place wherever we desire. I've been testing a bit with legacy characters from early access. They don't have any rank benefits. Their defense has been stripped down to their combat stat and their armor, and anything else they have, like the combat dodge skill. They have their slightly higher stamina because they have 2 stamina points for each level as older characters. They obviously don't get any better ability scores. They have whatever skills they have. But that loss of defense, I'm slightly concerned it might affect us when we reach rank 3 as well, and we may not gain a point of defense. So maybe I should try to get to rank 3 quickly. That'll be tricky, but I can try. We've got a good amount of scouting, so it is possible. For now, though, we're going to go to the Three Rings Tavern. The Three Rings Tavern is a comfortable inn near the city centre. The tavern costs you 1 shard a day. Each day you spend here, you can recover 1 stamina point if injured, up to the limit of your normal unwounded score. An old troubadour tells an epic tale of adventure and romance involving 3 heroes, a princess and a dragon. Afterwards you find yourself talking to him at the bar. He tells you about the time he was captured by the man-beasts of Nerech, and that by soothing their savage ferocity with music, he was able to escape. The bard tells you of his lifelong quest to find the greatest story ever told. It is said that the god Sig, in his aspect as the divine bard, passed this knowledge to a mystic called Damor the Hermit. He lives alone in a lost cave, awaiting the day when he can pass on the story to the one who finds him. I am too old now to pursue the quest, so I pass it on to you. I believe he can be found in the foothills of the Spine of Harkoon, the mountains to the north. And that is something we should absolutely look into. Do we have stuff to sell? Not here, but elsewhere we may be able to divest ourselves, or divest is correct. Divest ourselves of one of these pelts. Do we want to purchase anything here? There are priestly skills here. Now, we may get one of these for free at rank 4. However, base sanctity 7, base sanctity 7. We currently have 6. At rank 3 we could increase our sanctity. However, combat and thievery and charisma would be good options as well, as would magic. So basically everything. Just trying to increase our average across the board, really, because who knows what we may be called upon to use over the course of our adventures. Do we wish to visit another temple? We're a bit low on shards, so we don't want to spend too much money. What other tasks do we have? The Black Dragon Knight is listed as easy. It's easy to find the Black Dragon Knight. Defeating him, on the other hand, is not quite such an easy matter. The Stolen Chest, we need more money if we're going to do that. The Greatest Story, might as well head on up that way then. To Trefoil, where Olifard the Wizardly resides. Ah, bad omen, we lose our blessing. The road between Marlock City, Trefoil and Karanbaru is well maintained with regular guard posts. The Sakarans are nothing if not efficient. Oh, and I could get money down in Yellowport? Yellowport, yes. However, the bad omen does not hurt you as you have no blessings. I should look into that. You continue onwards. The city of Trefoil is a terrifying vision of apocalyptic destruction. It had once been a thriving crossroads town, but now it is a burnt-out hulk. It was almost razed to the ground when it declared for the late king during the recent civil war and tried to hold out against the army of Grieve Marlock, the current Protector General of Sakara. It was then sacked by the General's mercenaries, and General Marlock is now trying to rebuild it. Craftsmen are hard at work everywhere. Let us depart. You join the much-travelled road that connects Trefoil and Karanbaru. The traffic mostly consists of convoys of troops and supplies. Eventually you come to the Weary Pilgrim Tavern, a way station between the cities, and we can rest here if we want to. For now though, we'll just head on up the main road. The road is currently blocked by wagons and supply convoys. A troop of soldiers forces its way through the throng. The men bang heads indiscriminately to clear people out of the way. Ourselves included. We get bashed on the head as well. Karanbaru is a medium-sized town that acts as a way station between the citadel to the north and the rich towns of the south. It is a garrison town. Many supplies, arms and soldiers move through Karanbaru on the north-south trail. Shops, temples, traders and the like have sprung up here to serve the needs of the military. There is also a sizable mining community, for the mines of Sakara lie in the Bronze Hills just outside town, and a slave market where poor unfortunates sold into slavery are bought for work in the mines. The Karanbaru market consists of several covered arcades. Much of its stock is for miners and soldiers, and it is run with business-like efficiency by the Sakaran military. Let's see what they have for sale in this market. They will purchase wolf pelts. I will part with one. That is a nice skill to get. I kind of really want to see what skills we get as we gain ranks. So, if we hit rank 4, we'll get a new skill. Will it be mostly for passives? Because I imagine at some point it might diverge into class skills. The skill books and scrolls are expensive. I'd like to see the options available to me before I start buying. The Blue Griffin Tavern is frequented by soldiers and mercenaries. The tavern costs... yeah, it's a tavern. We're going to rest here and head on out. You're on the road between the citadel of Velis Corin and Fort Meref. This is quite rarely travelled. The military guard posts are few and far between. Nothing untoward happens. You have come to the foothills of the spine of Harkoon. The great mountains rise up majestically before you, their snow-capped peaks wreathed in clouds. You find a clear, cold stream where you drink your fill and replenish your water supply. Let's climb up. Climbing the spine of Harkoon is no easy task, but we have climbing gear that we have already used this episode. After a hard climb, you are halfway up the side of the mountain when you discover a thin, precarious path leading up. The sun beats down and you are sweating heavily. You take a swig of water from your canteen and proceed up the path. After a while, you have to stop to take more water. To your horror, your water supply has turned sour and undrinkable. This is unusual. We passed a magic roll. The odds were against us, but hey. You sense that sorcery is afoot. You make a few magical divinations which tell you that the path is cursed. It will sour the water supply of anyone that travels upon it. However, you can tell that the curse affects only the path. There is just enough room to squeeze your way up beside it, hugging the rock face. You find your water returns to a state that is drinkable. Eventually, the path leads to a bubbling well of spring water in the rocks just at the opening of a cave. You refill your canteen, then explore the cave. The interior of the cave is cool and refreshing, a paradise compared with the savage heat of your grueling climb. You find a man floating cross-legged in the middle of the air. He is dressed only in a loincloth and is painfully thin. His face is shrouded in a great luxuriant growth of glossy black hair, a beard like no other you have ever seen. At the sight of you, he gives an exasperated sigh and says, "I am Damour the Hermit. A hermit. That means I like to live alone. Got that? Alone. So go away." "I nearly died getting here, old man," you reply testily. "Yes, you'd have to be pretty tough to get through the curse I put on the path, I suppose," he says somewhat apologetically. Let's ask about the greatest story ever told. You remember a bard in a tavern told you about Damour the Hermit, and he knew the secret of the greatest story ever told, so you ask him about it. "Ah," says Damour, "I have waited for one such as you." He tells you the secret of the greatest story. "Well, my young adventurer, destiny beckons, for it is fated that your life will be the greatest story ever told." As you consider this, you feel a sense of momentary enlightenment and gain a permanent point of charisma. "Right, that's that," says Damour. "Now go away and don't come back." After a few hours, he lifts the curse that soured your water so you can make it down again safely. We're back at the foothills of the mountains. And now, we have a little more charisma. When we reach rank 3, we might increase it again, then we would have 3 6s, which would put us closer to getting 6s across the board. The base skills for every class require an ability score of 6, so currently we can gain skills for the Priest and the Wayfarer. We would then be able to give Troubadour skills as well. Some skills require an ability score of 7, and I'm sure we can work on that. For now though, I think I've done quite well, so I'm going to leave this episode here. I hope you've all enjoyed this one, and I will look forward to seeing you all in the very next episode. I'm going to say goodbye for now though, and cheerio everyone. See you all next time.